Hello, my name is Michael Lang. I am a former professional dancer and a high aerial tumbler, and I have taught dance for the last 15 years. And today, we're going to visit the idea, as the American Ballet Theater points out, that boys dance. So, I was a dancer, but I was also an MVP soccer player. I was a national martial arts champion. I was a state champion diver, and I credit a lot of that to the fact that I danced from age 4. So I had a lot of coordination, a lot of balance, and gained a lot of physical skills through my dancing. In dance, we have what is called a fan kick, where we do like that. Martial arts, it's a crescent kick, right? Same thing, just with a different intent and a little different positioning. So dance can help you in all sorts of things. So let's step over here and learn a little bit about it. So the American Ballet Theater is a very famous company in New York City. It's one of the top ballet companies in the world. My wife actually is an American Ballet Theater accredited dance teacher and has taught many ballet dancers. And she actually danced in classes with people like Mikhail Baryshnikov, who was in the American Ballet Theater and a very, very famous male dancer himself. So let's begin. Shorts and socks and shoes on tight, you're set to dance with all your might. Prepare to step and spin and sway as you begin to learn ballet. Like each brilliant ballet star, you'll start with stretches at the bar. Now, when they're talking about a bar, this is not what Dad goes to. This is actual bar on the wall where they work on skills and balance, and they'll use it for balance and different exercises to gain strength. When you think about it, dancers are just doing squats and calf raises all day long, so they're very, very strong, and a lot of that happens at the bar. Watch the teacher show and tell before you turn to try as well. Then, as music starts to play, plie, 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 plie. What does that mean? Well, actually, ballet is spoken in French, right? The history of ballet, King Louis XIV, way back when, used to do court dances, and these became ballets, and then he would create the positions. And so when you hear French being spoken in a ballet class, it's because a lot of its roots come from France and King Louis XIV. And plie means to bend, so those are the squats I was talking about. Holding on so you'll stay steady, don't let go until you're ready. You're an athlete, and your mission's mastering all 5 positions. There's first position. That's when our feet are together like this. We always turn our hips out like this in ballet, right? And then second position, third position, fourth position, and fifth position. These are my feet, right? These positions also were developed by King Louis XIV way back when, and they've stayed through the test of time. Muscles warm so you're not sore. It's time to move onto the floor. So after we do the ballet bar, we have to come out to the center, right? Because eventually you're going to dance all around the room, and you can't just hang on to the bar the whole time. So you learn your skills at the bar, and then we bring it out to what we call the center. Training hard, you'll break a sweat while you rehearse your pirouette. Polishing a tour en l'air. Turn with feeling, land with flair. There's that French again, right? So pirouette, that's our turning. That's how when you see spin. And men, they're turners and jumpers. That's what they do a lot in ballet. And sometimes you can see men turning 8, 9, 10 pirouettes. It's pretty impressive balance. And then a tour en l'air, right? En l'air, in the air, right? That's a turn that happens as they jump and spin in the air. Also very famous with a lot of male dancers. Leap across the studio with perfect posture. like a pro. So we don't just turn, we jump, and we jump high, right? That's where all those pliés, all that work at the bar comes in and soars you all the way up into the air. Let these leading men inspire as you practice and perspire. So all of these men are actually in ABT, American Ballet Theater, right? So all these boys have someone to look up to and go, wow, I want to jump like that, right? But the interesting thing is that a lot of athletes take ballet so they can jump higher, right? Basketball, there's a lot of famous football players. Lynn Swann comes to my mind. I was a Pittsburgh Steelers fan in the 70s, and he jumped over everybody because he took ballet. So you can train ballet not to just be a ballet dancer, but to be an athlete or just have more strength. Princes, pirates, villains too, slay the Mouse King in a coup, right? So we go from the bar, we come to the center, but then we actually put on shows, full-length storybook ballets. And some of these ballets are about famous stories like Don Quixote. There's Swan Lake, a lot of people have heard of. But one of the most famous ones that's done all over the world is the Nutcracker. And that's the Mouse King they're talking about. So if you ever get a chance, check out the Nutcracker. Lifting fellow dancers high means staying sturdy, strong, and spry. So male dancers are doing all the lifting. So if you see the pretty ballerina girls being hoisted in the air, that's because the men are lifting them way up there, right? So you have to be strong in the upper body as well as the low body, right? So you're lifting the girls and making them fly. Beyond ballet and your pizzazz to modern hip-hop, tap, or jazz. Now, I trained in ballet, but I took my ballet training to Broadway, to musical theater. So it doesn't really matter what style of dance you want. Ballet is kind of the foundation for all of dance. And you have Savion Glover, who was a really famous tap dancer, Paul Taylor, famous modern dancer, Bob Fosse, speaking of Broadway, right? Gregory Hines, also a very famous tap dancer and movie star actor. And then Gene Kelly, all those famous old movies like Singin' in the Rain. With dancing skills, you're sure to soar in sports, at school, and so much more. Whatever passions you pursue, what matters most is being you. And we have all these actual pictures of the American Ballet Theater dancers. So, that's it. Boys dance. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did.